What is going on, everybody? Here this week it is just me. Doug is out busy doing Doug things for work out in out west. He had a show he had to go to and knock some stuff out. So figured I'd jump in and do one by myself. Figured out more of these buttons. You saw last week I had a hell of a time figuring those out. So I figured I'd get in here and see what I could do by myself this week and just kind of roll over Unadilla. It was a pretty nothing too crazy this weekend. There were some exciting moments, but nothing big happened. So I figured to just roll through there, get a show in, give you guys some updates, what's going on, and talk through it and see what have a good time. If anybody's out there's watching, wants to jump in, have any questions, participate, let me know. Jump on in the chat. Let's see here. We'll get started with. Can't forget our sponsors. First one's Bro Taco hot sauce. I just finally went and picked up my new Radberry sauce after my crazy shipping incident from the recent drop there. Finally got to try that last night and today multiple times, and that stuff is the bomb. There are a few bottles left, I think, so go jump on over to Bro Taco hot sauce at brotacofoods.com. Use that code PTTG for 20% off your order and go pick up some of this stuff. If he's got any of that super small batch left up, you should grab some, or just any of those, especially the brap sauce. I was using that on 90% of my meals because that stuff is so good, and I got addicted to it. And then next up, we got Sunstar Sprockets and Chains. If you've watched the show, you know we get to hook up with those guys. Doug can help you out. Definitely one of the best in the business. Go over to sunstar-breaking.com. Use the code PTTG during checkout to get 30% off your order. Doug finally figured out how to get the code working on there, so you don't have to send him a crazy email anymore. You can still probably send him a crazy email. He likes dad jokes, and better go over there, use the code, get 30% off your order, figure out what you need to get hooked up for your bike so you can go faster and last longer. And then, of course, join us over on theground.com. Go over there, check it out. Jesse keeps updating the website. It's rocking and rolling. We got Jug Club on there. Should be coming up September 11th, 9/11, day of the last round. That gets started right now. I think there's still some spots left for the lifetime membership. If you go over there and get hooked up, if not, maybe Jesse will tell me to stop talking about that. But I can't remember. We need to, so go over there, go check that out. We got pick'ems over there playing every weekend. Just a real simple, fun fantasy game playing. The leaderboards are getting kind of crazy with some of these weeks. Some people forgetting some rounds, some people not. Some people doing really good. I got lucky this last weekend. Even though I do good, I can't win the whole thing. Obviously, that would be kind of unfair for you guys, but I was having a good time. I got kind of lucky figuring it out. Some of these results were not quite expected, but maybe a little bit easier than normal weeks just because of who was there. But anyways, yeah, go check us out over at power2theground.com. We got the link to the Discord server over there. You can jump in Discord and hang out and chat with us all the time. We got some great videos and conversations on there about the races or bikes or anything in general. Or maybe Jesse might start a new Monday morning random YouTube video bit in there for us. He was a pretty funny random video in there this morning. You should go check that out if you can. Anyways, yeah, go check us out, power2theground.com. And then, of course, can't forget who hooks us up with all the technology to run this show is Nova Pro Media. Go over there, check them out if you're a small business, anything else that you need to get your small business up and running or doing newsletters, things like that, online, websites, the whole jazz. Anyways, go over there, digital marketing, go check them out. They, like I said, they give us all the power to run this, and we're getting better and smoother with all the technology because of them. And Jesse does a good job over there. So novapro.media is the website. I got it figured out this week. Like I said, go over there and check them out. And then just, now we can jump into talking about the race this weekend. So we were at round 8, was at Unadilla in the Northeast this weekend. We had 450s went first this weekend again because of the schedule. They had an opportunity to get the 450s live for at least one moto on normal television. So they put them first, and that was kind of interesting again to see 450s run first. So 450, 250, 450, 250 this weekend. And I think that actually kind of played a little bit into some of the results for 250 Moto 2. We can we'll talk about that here in a second, because we'll just jump into the 250s first and talk about what we saw there. First moto, I think both motos were a little bit more exciting right off the bat, and they kind of settled into place. This being a more technical track, there wasn't a whole lot of super easy passing opportunities. Definitely a rutted track. You heard a lot of riders talking about after the fact about it being a lot of longer ruts, a little bit more technical. Obviously, this is a track where they're talking about beforehand. Everybody's always talking about, the rocks, the dirt. Definitely chest protector track. Just the way everything builds out there, it's a little bit more technical than normal. And then you even got the fact that while some guys like Justin Cooper may be a geographical local because of the way this track works and only really opening up for nationals or very few select events over the course of the year, no one ever really gets to race there, kind of like they do Southwick and Southwick locals. So while Justin Cooper technically might have been one of the most local guys as far as the 250 is concerned, he didn't really have an advantage there. But like I said, with the 250s technically going second this week compared to the 450s, I think that played a little bit into the results of the second moto. First moto, not so much. These guys were still moving fast on the track. It was still in a little bit better shape before getting torn up again. You had right off the bat Justin Cooper grabbing the whole shot, and then you could see quickly right there is Jet and Jeremy Martin were right behind him. And then it settled pretty quickly within the first lap into Justin Cooper, Jet, Jeremy Martin, and they were going through it, and it was looking really exciting right there at the beginning with Jet, obviously trying to get around. He got around Jeremy Martin really fast right at the beginning to run into that running order, and then you could see Jet was trying to get around Jay Coop, stay caught up with him for a little while, and then Jeremy Martin was right there, battling behind them, he was obviously staying close to them, but I think he was kind of more in a waiting game to try to see if he could, maybe Jet makes a mistake. You could see where he could get around him. Obviously, they're just settling into the track. 450s had just raced. They were getting a good feel for how it was going to race even after their starting lap. And you could definitely see Jay Coop was riding a little defensively. But also at the same time, Jet kind of knew Jeremy Martin was right behind him, so he was going to have to ride a little defensively, also while trying to be aggressive enough to stay caught up to Justin Cooper, so Justin Cooper didn't get away. And it was really exciting too, because in this race, they just kept setting faster and faster lap times between Jeremy Martin, Jet Lawrence, and Justin Cooper. They didn't set their fastest lap times until the 7th. So Jeremy Martin set his fastest lap time with a 2:24.663 on the 7th lap. Justin Cooper set a 2:23.279 on the 7th lap, and Jet didn't set his fastest lap time, which was a 2:23.351 until the 9th lap. So he was still, going for the charge there, all the way up to the end. He wasn't just going to let him have it. So they were battling the whole time, and I think the first moto running order ended up being Justin Cooper with the first, Jet with the second, Jeremy Martin with the third. So it just stayed there, hanging out the whole time, and they were rocking and rolling. And then let's see, and there was some other stuff going on in the first moto too. After once they got settled in, so this was the first weekend we got to see Levi Kitchen and Preston Kilroy after their Loretta's debut, which was kind of, or not debut. This is their debut after their Loretta's performance at the championship this year, and it was kind of exciting seeing where they would actually hold up against the field. Let's see. We had Levi finished. He went 8-9 for the weekend, which is pretty exciting. He had a pretty good start on the first moto, which helped out, or second moto, which helped out with that. The first moto he started in 16th, so he had a. Oh no! I was like, Levi. Levi was 12.7. Sorry, I was looking at Jalik's line. Levi was 12.7. He started 16th in the first moto, made his way up to 12th. Started in 9th, second moto, made his way up to 7th. But that was pretty exciting watching them this week, especially in the first moto, seeing how they would do holding up to the pressure, jumping out there this weekend. Obviously, they're no strangers to pressure, we'll say, but after when you race at something like Retta's and you have all the pressure on you to see how you're going to do, and then go out there and race your first pro national, obviously, people want to see you do good. You want to see yourself do good, and it was nice to not see him crumble under the pressure, I guess we'll say. Also in the first moto, we had guys. Let's see, we had Styles Robertson, Pierce Brown, and Garrett Smartbanks had an incident out the front, and so that kind of took a few guys to the back and pushed them up until they were about in mid-20s, so like 23rd to 25th. Pierce had an accident and he went down, and then he was able to get back on the bike, I think, to kind of ride himself off the track, but he ended up not being able to re-enter the race. First one, also, we had Fortner was only running about 10th with about 10 minutes in, and then something happened, and he crashed and had to go into the mechanics area. And I don't think that he finished the first moto. He did not. He finished with the 39th and on there. So we got Jesse joining us. What's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. And let's see, we had I think there wasn't a whole lot going there with the first moto. There was a little while where RJ seemed like he might be catching up to the lead riders, and see how he would go there, and he ended up not. He just kind of he got a 5th place start in the first moto and moved up to 4th. So he just kind of, I'm not going to say he took it, but yeah, like I said earlier, this is one of these where you kind of get in there and just settle in after a while, especially with those guys in the front just running as fast as they were. Let's see. Hold a second, Jesse. I'm going to shoot you a link. I'm going to shoot you something. So yeah, the first moto we ended up with, like I said, we'll just run over the top 5 for the first moto real fast. We had Justin Cooper, Jed Lawrence, Jeremy Martin. RJ finished 4th, and then 5th place in the first moto was Hunter Lawrence. And then looks like we've got a special guest joining us.
What up?
What's happening, man?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear yourself?
I can hear myself, yeah.
That's
I just
important.
wanted to make sure I had the right mic selected.
Oh, yeah, that's an important button to press.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing. Just kind of rolling through, hanging out, getting a feel for not having Doug and his jokes to push through,
What's he's at that show?
Mm-hmm. Big old sales meeting, hanging out.
Nice.
Showing everybody why Sunstar's the shit.
That's what happens when you take promotions.
Yeah, right.
You get more stuff piled on your plate.
Yeah. Here's a promotion and more places to go.
Exactly.
We hope you enjoyed it. At least he got to fly out, though, and not have to do that drive. I'm not sure he was excited about doing the flight, but it sounds like he's had some pretty cool company on his way out there, though, which is great.
Yeah. It sounded like he had some pretty good stories. I'm sure he'll be talking about next week.
Yeah, we'll be prodding him for those for sure.
I didn't mean to derail you, so.
No, man. Did you get a chance to watch the races this weekend yet?
I did.
Awesome.
I got like the second half of 450 Moto 1, and then I got the rest of them.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, Well, then that's pretty good then. Yeah, so I was just rolling. I got through 450 or 250 Moto 1. I was getting ready to just kind of jump into 250 Moto 2. And like I alluded to earlier, that I think part of the interesting results for this moto were the fact that this track kind of builds up a certain way as far as the ruts and the dirt, and just the way the track works out over a weekend.
Yep.
So yeah, that they did the prep a certain way at the beginning, anyways, and then you had the 450s go first. So this was another weekend where the 250 Moto 2 was the last moto of the day instead of the third moto, and part of the results was for the two, like, not to be a huge spoiler, but we're gonna get into it anyways, was Justin Cooper just didn't win.
Right.
He doesn't need to win, but it's the fact that it wasn't a close battle. He was nowhere near. Jet walked away with 250 Moto 2, right?
It was like a minute. It was like a minute, 1 second difference between Jet and Justin Cooper at the end.
Oh yeah, it was something ridiculous. Let me see if I can find my on there. But yeah, it was crazy. He just wasn't. He admitted he just wasn't feeling it. And so I think that had something to do with it. There was he was I think this is a 2-minute gap between him and Jet, effectively.
Holy crap!
For Moto 2.
Yeah.
There was Jeremy was like 4 seconds off of Jet. RJ was 50 seconds behind Jeremy Martin, and then Justin Cooper was another a minute, 10 seconds behind RJ.
So Unadilla is one of those tracks. It's one that I happen to have a lot of personal experience with because I used to go to, I went to Unadilla every year for like 5 years in a row when I was a kid. The last year that I went was the first year Bubba moved up to the 250s and raced against Ricky Carmichael. But it was a pretty normal thing to happen at Unadilla where the first place rider would pull a huge gap on the rest of the field. Now, granted, that was Ricky Carmichael and James Stewart that I'm talking about. You had James Stewart in the 125 class and Ricky was in the 250 class, but it wasn't always them. I just always remember at that track, the first place rider having like a 30 to 45 second lead on second place. And then everybody else was that just dropped off. So I'm not sure what it is about that track. It is definitely, it's rough terrain. The mud is really, really thick, or the dirt is really thick, and it doesn't take much water on it to turn to mud. But there's definitely a lot of elevation changes on that track too, and not like light elevation changes. We're talking like straight ups and straight downs in multiple parts of the track. All of that, I'm not surprised that there. Basically, what I'm saying is I'm not surprised there's that much of a gap between Jet and Coop, because it's just, in my experience, that's just kind of what happens at Unadilla. Being in first place is a huge advantage on that track.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially if it's one that builds out like that with the ruts and there's not a lot of passing opportunities, and it's the lines are very defined. Yeah, and especially when it gets as rough as that, if your bike setup's just not there and you can't feel it,
right?
It's just not worth it. Which is actually kind of interesting because Jet credited part of his second moto performance to just finally not overthinking it, is how he worded it, and he just said he just felt it and just kind of just rolled with it, which is even more amazing. You think on a track like that, maybe most riders would need to be a little bit more present in the moment and really thinking about it, and maybe actually overthinking it, or just really thinking about it, or maybe he was just really actually overthinking it that much that to him this time really was just, okay, now I'm just in the mode thinking about the technical things I know how to do.
Right.
Because there's a lot of spots in there. You could see it in some of the motos where, and we'll get to like the 451, but I remember specifically the spot where Kenny passed Chase on one of those. They're like the jumps, but they're not clearly defined up ramp, down ramp jumps. They're jumps. You got to do some wheel taps or kind of scrub something or barely hit and then jump over.
Right.
There were things like that where you could clearly make up a huge amount of time if you were able to go into it fast enough because you were more comfortable in the corner beforehand or just everything. And I think that it clearly worked for Jet this weekend, and he did well. And J Mart, props to him too for doing so well this weekend. I think maybe if he's still really kind of feeling any fatigue from his injuries, that maybe this track was just he was not quite there, or maybe it was the Yamahas too and something. But he was right there both ones. He just didn't have the thing which we've seen this season. He and Jet are the only two to actually have the thing on a weekend to win 2 overalls
Right.
so far. So, it's kind of interesting. But I mean, the first part of Moto 2 was definitely pretty interesting to watch when they were going through that. And J-Mart he was charging to catch up to Jet multiple times through there, but then they both just had times where one of them would slow down, one of them would speed up, and they just never really caught each other. And he ended up 4 seconds behind him. And then again in that one, yeah, because there was a couple times I was
Jet screwed up a couple of times coming down the stretch.
He had a couple slow laps right there at the end when J-Mart was still kicking it up, because like the last lap, J-Mart saw it, and they were lap 13. J-Mart kicked it down from a 228 to a 225 on the last lap to try to catch him, while Jet was still running 227, 228, 228.
Wow.
So he smelled the blood in the water, and he's like, if I'm going to go for it, I'm going to go for it. And J-Mart did what he does and just charged like a bulldog. It just wasn't enough, unfortunately. But it's still amazing performance for him, considering the fact that we all thought he might just not come back this season.
Yeah, I think he'll get one more this season. I don't think I just don't think he's physically in a spot to string a bunch together. I don't think his body can hold together after everything it's been through.
Yeah, I would think the same thing is probably pretty likely. He probably needs more rest. If he's still physically rebuilding on the inside, that just takes a lot out of you, and needs more rest, and that could totally make more sense. Then also, when you need that extra level just to beat all these other guys too, makes it a little bit harder, right?
Right.
Yeah, so we'll see. Cause he's got he could do great at something. I don't know. I'd have to look and see what he's done at something like Budds Creek, but Ironman, that track might be a little bit more like his home track. It could really play into his favor there and see what he can do. But if he's going to do it, I think it needs to be these next 2 rounds, because especially if something like his physical endurance is playing into it, going 4 more rounds is definitely not going to play in his favor.
Right.
Now, I don't know if it's going to play in the Jets' favor really either. I mean, he's not in bad shape, but him on being 18, I don't know if he's got the base, as you would call it, to really hold out 5 more rounds and beat somebody like Justin Cooper, who's clearly got the base built up,
So I have a couple of different feelings on that. One is Jet's one of the few riders out there that actually looks like a professional athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And for that reason, I think that he's probably got an advantage. The cardio might not be there. We'll have to find out about that. But style wise, Jet is a much smoother rider than most other riders on the track. And it seems that it just seems like he uses less energy when he's riding than everybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
Which probably explains why he can every once in a while rip out the fastest lap of the race in like the last couple of laps.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that'll definitely be something, because you're right. Cooper definitely has he has the base, and you can tell that he's he has, especially over the last 2 years, he's worked really, really hard on being there at the end of the race, where he used to be like one of those hole shot guys and fade. He does not seem to be like that anymore. However, he also seems to be a wicked momentum rider. So I'm very curious to see what falling, what was it, 2 minutes to Jet is going to do to his psyche going into any other races for the rest of this season. He's going to have to come back like first moto. I think he's going to have to come back. Otherwise he's going to lose a ton of ground.
Yeah, that could be interesting, even if it's not so much of a building block for Justin to make sure he doesn't fall backwards, in the kind of mental space from it. I don't think he can afford to give up anything to Jet.
Yeah.
In there, because Jet definitely doesn't need the confidence boost to be like,
Right.
oh crap, I just beat Justin Cooper, about 2 minutes. And maybe Justin knew that, and maybe, well, although he didn't have the feeling to push it and knew he didn't need to, this for the second moto to risk it, maybe, what else are you going to say? I wouldn't say anything other than like, some guys will say, yeah, he just clearly beat me this weekend, but I would definitely throw in and I just wasn't feeling it out there on the track today.
Right.
I'm throwing a little qualifier there to make it sound like I just didn't get my ass handed to me.
What's the point difference now? Is it 4 or 7?
It is.
Or am I totally wrong on that? Totally.
No, it's 4.
It's 4.
Yeah, because I remember I had to double check because I was doing the math as they ran in Moto 2. And obviously, it was really exciting at first. And then all of a sudden Jet, comes up and then overtakes Justin and just keeps falling back and falling back and falling back. And then the point differential is getting smaller and smaller and smaller the whole time. You're like, oh, snap. So it's rough, but it's actually really exciting now.
Yeah.
Because Jet's right there. Not that it wasn't exciting before, but it's really exciting now because this isn't one of those things where he could just let Jet win a weekend while he finishes second every moto.
Right.
He has to beat him by a couple positions now.
Speaking of Jet marching to the front, can we talk about this outside line that he was taking on that one turn?
Was it the left-hander before the downhill? Like the left-hander into the downhill?
Exactly. It's the one that I think he got Cooper and J Mart on it. Mm-hmm. That was incredible. He had to have been hitting like 50, 60 miles an hour going around that turn on that berm both times.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting to watch, for sure, especially obviously just the gravity of the situation, literally and figuratively, of him, passing J Coop there. But yeah, anybody else, maybe it was something, but he was passing, like you said, Jeremy Martin, Justin Cooper there, just going for it. That was one of the, I think some of the 450 guys made some killer passes there too. And that was that and the place where Jet passed Jeremy Martin at the bottom third of the new back for this year downhill section. Yeah. Where they go all the way up to the top, do the 180, come back down. The last third before the right-hander, Jet was one of the few guys surprisingly make some pretty ballsy passes down there over the braking bumps, around a guy.
Right.
And they both of those were insane. He was making some ballsy passes, but yeah, the one you brought up in that corner, just slingshot. It was like when Kenny passed Barsha at was that Millville? I think it was Millville, where he passed him around at the bottom of the hill in the right-hand corner, the off-camber one. Yeah, those kind of passes are just insane.
And it seemed like nobody was looking for it either. That was what caught me off guard. When he made the move on Justin Cooper, I hadn't really noticed anybody taking that line, especially in the 250s. Mm-hmm. And then it seemed like he just kind of pulled it out of his hat at that moment and just friggin' went for it.
Yeah, and that's an amazing thing too, right? If he ended up did just kind of like seeing the line, thinking in the moment, or even maybe the lap two before he saw the rut the ability, maybe I can get into this rut going into the corner. I can see it carrying all the way through, but then just saying, hey, I got to try something.
Yeah.
And then just going for it and trying it and getting on the gas and just railing it. That's skill.
When he got Cooper, I'm gonna have to watch him back again, but I'm pretty sure he screwed up that turn coming into that.
I have to watch that one again.
Because I'm pretty sure he screwed it up on the inside because it was a pretty tight turn coming into the straight that ends up going into that turn. So they kind of loop around and then they come and then there's the big sweeping turn.
Mm-hmm.
That turn coming into it, if I recall correctly, Jet went to take the inside line on that one and totally lost his drive coming out of the turn, which allowed Cooper to come out in front of him. And he got into the turn first, but he stayed on the inside, and then Jet just freaking let it rip around the outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to watch that one again. I don't remember the lead up to it so much as in my head, I remember watching the corner and then watching them go down the hill, just thinking about what that was like from their perspective, hauling ass out of the corner down the hill.
He looked like a pinball in a pinball machine, going around the top of it. Yeah,
definitely some moves. But then after that, it was kind of, other than seeing the gaps bounce between him and J Mart, that moto wasn't a lot of excitement at the front. There was some stuff towards the end, just broke my heart for Shimoda, man. They said his hand, it doesn't seem to be broken, but he just like going around that corner, hitting that barrel, and just having to pull off, in a battle like that. He wasn't battling for top 5 or anything, but he was battling for a position nonetheless.
He was on his way back. He was picking up steam for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was doing good. But I mean, that's where the battles were in that particular moto, though, because you had, let's see, in that range in the second moto,
you had a couple of young kids in there, didn't you? He was going by Voland at that point. Voland and
Voland was up a little bit above him in that moto. Voland and
the new kid, the brand new one, just moved up.
See, Voland and Fortner were battling in the second moto. I think the Voland was battling with, I had it in my notes. Where was it? I think it was the first moto he was battling with either Kitchen, with maybe Kitchen. Trying to look at my notes because I had Voland in there.
His Kitchen ended up getting him at one point.
Yeah, but Kitchen and Kilroy, both of those guys, that's one of the things I was talking about from the first moto, just seeing, it was great seeing them not come out and just kind of blow a load. For the weekend, they put in some impressive results. Kilroy had a 16th, 10th for a 12th overall, which is pretty killer. I mean, obviously these guys aren't total noobs, but to come off the pressure of Loretta's and come out to their first moto, being Unadilla, also a track that they clearly don't have a lot of experience at, because nobody gets to race there. And then Kitchen finished 12th, 7th in the second moto. So yeah, it was pretty exciting watching them see. And then Hammacher was doing pretty good in both, and he had that incident in the first moto that put him out. The second moto. Yeah, the second moto, he had that incident that knocked him back, and he only finished 20s first. But he was doing good. He was up there battling with Voland for a little while in that kind of 5th, 6th position. Hunter Lawrence, I haven't had a chance to listen to anything he had to say after the weekend to kind of see what was going on. He just didn't have anything spectacular this weekend. I mean, 10th on a moto Unadilla is nothing to shy away at, but he just didn't have anything top 5s this weekend, which I was kind of hoping for. Kind of see, because he's the only chance at. Well, now he's battling J Mart for 3rd in the championship. They're 1 point apart.
Wow, really?
I don't think RJ's going to come up and swing for it. He's 20 points behind those two, but Yeah, Hunter's. I imagine there's probably something in his contract for top 3 in the championship, and I don't think he's going to be too excited getting beat out by a guy that wasn't there for a few rounds.
Right.
with some
Exactly.
broken limbs and appendages. So I don't know. There's still plenty of neat things to watch there because, like I said, that'll be a neat battle to watch to kind of see Hunter Lawrence and Jeremy Martin on their point scoring abilities for the next 4 rounds to see if maybe Hunter gets to keep top 3 in the championship, and there's 2 Lawrence brothers in the championship or top 3 for the 250. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool
to see. And RJ could still be a spoiler there if one of them or both of them have one bad moto. He could come up and take something from them because he seems to be kind of gathering himself a little bit better and not having those front end washout moments as much anymore.
Just falling down.
Yeah.
Pierce Brown had a pretty rough weekend.
Yeah, that first moto was not good for him. I can't remember. I don't remember hearing exactly if there was anything wrong with him or not, or why he didn't get back in there. Because when he got back on the bike in that first moto, I thought he was going to be able to finish, because he rode away. I thought he'd go back in after they had him in the mechanics area, but he ended up not finishing that moto.
And what happened to him in the second moto? It looked like he hit some spikes or something.
I honestly don't. I don't even remember him in the second moto.
He went down in the second moto. I don't even think he finished. But
he's credited with a 40th. Yeah, so he definitely did not finish.
Yeah, it looked like he hit a sign or something like that.
Yeah, I had to watch that again. I completely missed whatever happened to him in the second one.
That's another one. I enjoy watching him. We just he's him just like Hampshire. He's just got to stay upright.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think him having I heard them say today that it's pretty much confirmed that he's going to be back on Gas next year. So okay. I think this is going to be a good thing for him to, not that team was technically real different from the TLD team that he was on with the KTM, but I think having one more year of solid, I'm doing this, is going to be good for him.
Right.
So that'll help out. Yeah, I've enjoyed watching it. I mean, I kind of thought he was a literal man of steel after getting run over and hit the way he did at Millville, and be able to come back and race really well the next weekend. That was insane. I think the kid's got some talent. It'll be exciting to see what he can do next year after a good off season and jumping right back into it. Because I think last year, this Supercross season was his first full 250 season. I think the year before 2020 was the year where they held him out for the first couple of rounds. Maybe that was 2019.
I think you're right, because the it would have been no.
It's either 2019 or 2020 that Atlanta was his first race of the season. I can't remember what year it was.
I think it was 2020, because he was, the summer before that, he was racing in the straight rhythm. And he hadn't he was a rookie at that point. Like he had just raced a couple of outdoor races at that point, if I recall correctly. I could be messing this up in my head too.
That sounds, I have to look into it. I can't remember.
I remember he was the youngest person in straight rhythm.
I'd have to look.
But then again, Pastrana was racing that year too, so it's not saying much,
There's so many odd people that jump into those straight rhythm races. It's kind of hard to base who else, base it off of who else was in there and be like, oh, what was it, early 2000s? I do not remember.
Pastrana was riding a 500. Ronnie Mack was there.
Yeah, right. I swear it was him. I'd have to look up and see.
Moto highlights. What up, yo?
What's happening? Thanks for jumping in and watching. Listen to us chat about the races and stuff. I don't think I really have anything else for 250s there, other than I don't know what to think about Fortner, man. Doug and I Doug and I go back and forth on this every weekend, but I've been listening. He's doing the interview rounds right recently, and I just trying to listen through kind of my own criticism of a young kid, as all of us adults do, and listen through for something like really something to hold on to. Like I got hope for him, but I don't know. I hope he gets something figured out because he's clearly got talent. But this weekend, for the finish he's got with a sixth in the second moto to be one of his best of the season, kind of as a group, that's just hard to swallow. So hope.
That is, that's a great point right there. Forkner's chicken his head. I mean, I've been low on Forkner for years now. Like I've just had no confidence in him whatsoever. He could rally off four 1-1s in a row, and he still won't convince me. And yeah, it has a lot to do. Moto highlights. I'm not sure who that is, but I will definitely follow up with them later. But he lets his personal life onto the track way too much, like way more than anybody else out there. He puts his baggage, straps it to the back of his bike, and rides around on the track with it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think he does maybe not the best job of making it real obvious what's going on, in his life enough for people to rag on him about it, whether or not they should or shouldn't. It's one of those things. It's like people rag on him because it's out there. The information's out there because he throws it around. Nobody else talks about too many other people's private lives because nobody knows about it. They keep the stuff separate. And the thing with Fortner is I think it looks like to the public, it looks like he doesn't have a separation of work and life. It looks like it's all a jumbled mess.
Right.
And, we'll never know if we're right or not, but it's the fact that we can look at it and say, well, you can't prove me wrong because it looks like this.
Right. He just seems like such an emo kid. Like I'm expecting him to come out one time with just like pitch black hair and eyeliner on. Just like he just seems like that type, man. He just, I think Shimoda beating him in and week out have a mental effect as well.
Oh, it's got to,
yeah.
For, especially with it. And that's the whole thing is I think part of the issues we'll call them I have with Forkner is that, and it might just be me being a crusty old guy, but I think a lot of it is just him being a young guy and clearly having young people issues, and he might not have. He may, and I could be totally wrong. I'd love to be wrong, but he may not have the mental maturity to kind of let something like Shimoda, where he might really deep down believe I'm 10 times better than Shimoda. I can whack Shimoda, but then he's getting beat by Shimoda every weekend. He might just not have the mental or perseverance to kind of dig through that and let it. I don't know, leave it at the track.
I mean, who else? For the most part, in the 250s, anyways. I mean, he's had a lone throne up atop the green bikes for at least the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's got a couple of young kids like with him. he's not the top guy. He might not even be the second guy right now on that team. So, and that in and of itself right there, going from being the guy to being a guy, that's got to play a huge role in him just falling apart mentally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd love to see him kind of figure it out and put some stuff together. Because it's not fun seeing a guy with talent like that, have issues for whatever reason it is, whether it's personal, maybe it's just a shit ton of bad luck and we'll never know.
Right.
It's not fun watching him because, regardless of the reason and how, mature or immature he may or may not be about it, it's not fun for him on his end either for it. It's not fun for Mitch. It might be fun for Hammacher and Shimoda on some weekends, but that's not how they want to win either. So I don't know. Yeah, I think that's about it for the 250 stuff. I will point out, I will say, like our new buddy Moto Highlights said, Dylan Swartz, he came out and killed it again. I was just watching his interview after the race this weekend. He was credited with 36th on both motos for his starting position around the first lap, and he finished with 15-12 for 14 overall.
Holy crap!
On that track, that
so
is
he passed
work.
like 40 people all day long.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Put in the work, man. It's nuts. Yeah, I think we'll get to it later, but he did. I did math it out. He did 45 positions from his credited start lap position overall. Nuts.
Holy shit. That's crazy. That's a lot of passing.
Yeah. It was 250s wasn't. I think a lot of the best action in the 250s was kind of after the first group. Once everything got settled in, but it wasn't bad. But now we're in a really exciting position with, as we talked about, Justin Cooper's in the lead with 324 points, and Jet's got 320 in second. Hunter Lawrence is in third with 263, and Jeremy Martin's right there with 262. After missing, he was credited with 0 points at Thunder Valley Moto 2 because that's where he got hurt, and 0 at both motos at High Point. So 3 motos scoring no points whatsoever, and he's right there.
Wow,
on the border of third. I'd have to see 40, 60. He's 60 points off the lead. He could have reasonably easily scored 20 points in all 3 of those motos he missed. And that would have left one of those other guys not scoring 20 points. So he easily could have been winning this championship based on all of his results. I think it's reasonable to say he could have scored.
He could have been running away with this at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's an automatic. Those 3 motos, it's what, 78 points automatically off the top.
75 for motocross.
Oh yeah, sorry, 75. So 75 off the top. They
have 3 different scoring models.
So 75 points right off the top. So, we'll give a delta of a couple of points there, and we'll say 70 points, and that puts him 50 points up on them.
Yeah. No, not quite 50. It'd been the math gets a little complicated because technically, if he were to score 20 points one moto, then the next guy only scores the 18. Or whatever, or the thing. He would have had, if he would have won those 3, he could have had 20 points, 10 to 20 points easily on them. And then also too in Southwick, he scored 10 points and 7 points.
So he dropped a lot. He dropped a lot there too.
Yeah, and that could have been his one normal oops weekend. That they all kind of get. Like Justin's, well, I don't know, Cooper walked away, lucky, only scoring. He could have scored less than 13 points in that moto where he ran into the mythical deer at Washougal. So yeah, J-Mark could be right there, and for him to walk away in third place in this championship would be something to hang his hat on.
Yeah,
he's clearly already signed for. He's finally admitted that he signed for Star again next year, which is exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, give him a solid $6 million man season and rebuild himself, and we'll see what kind of bad luck does not befall on him next year, and go from there.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. I would like to see, because I don't think we've seen the best of Jet yet.
No.
So it would be nice. It would be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
So J Mart's going to be on 250s again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah. if they didn't have such a stacked 450 group right now,
Yeah.
I'd clearly be like, let's just do this. But they
Right.
clearly got a stacked
Yeah. Who do you
450
know?
group. Yeah, because they'll
Yeah.
have Dylan again next year. Eli, we don't know if AP is actually going to be back or if he's going to KTM for sure or not. I just listened to an interview right before this with AP, and he was really good about not giving any hints or answering any questions about what he is or isn't doing next year. He's either really good about just keeping his mouth shut, or it's may still not be sealed up yet. I don't know, but we'll have to see. I mean, their 250 field's still going to be stacked next year because Kitchen's going to be running. I think he should be running full time the whole schedule with them next year. They'll have Justin Cooper again, Jerry Martin, Colt should be back, I imagine. So even if that's just four guys completely in the 250 field, I mean, it's still going to be pretty good. So
Right.
we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But yeah, 250s wasn't too bad, but this championship could get tight, and it's tight right now. So, and then we'll just jump on into the 450s here.
Good old 450s.
Yeah, I mean the Moto 1, man, just right off the bat, Kenny says, "Screw you guys, I'm taking the whole shot." And we had, and that's kind of how the weekend went for him. He didn't get the whole shot in Moto 2, but that whole shot in Moto 1 led the whole race. 15 laps, credited to his name, man. That's after Washougal, it was nice saying, "Oh man, I'm saying I'm sick," and then all of a sudden it's kind of hard not to worry. Was it? Did you just have to get a cold, or like is this the thing we've all worried was going to happen? Coming back for us, and it didn't seem to be the case. We'll see how these next 4 rounds hold up for him. It's not going to be cold and super great weather probably for these next 3 rounds, especially when they get to California, those last 2. But there's not much to say about Kenny and these. He killed it in the first moto, just went out there and led, and he let Chase had him there in the second moto, and that one pass where he passed him, man, that was so sick. He was doing so much better, just hauling ass into that one hop jump out of the left hander, just flew right past Chase and said, "See ya."
Yep.
Took off.
Yeah, well, like I said, I only caught like probably the last 15 minutes of the Moto 1 and the 450s, but that 15 minutes that I did catch was pretty boring. Like you said, Kenny got out front, and then he was just kind of gone from there on out.
Yeah. And that's the first moto. Did you catch AP's incident in the first moto?
I did
video
catch
that yet? Yeah. Oh man, yeah, because that was 11 minutes left on the clock is when that happened. And he was right there, holding on to second place coming through, because it was Kenny, Dylan, and AP right there in the first corner going through, and AP held on to it and was holding on to second place. And I think this was one of those scenarios too, where Dylan may have just been like, not pushing it and wait to see what happens.
Right.
It looks like he wasn't kind of there. Tomek was there in fourth right off the bat. Muscan, Bogle, Savachi, Webb, all right there. And you had Craig and Anstey for a top 10, and they were all there having their own little battles. And then AP just,
friggin', I don't know what he did. It looked like a whiskey throttle to me, but
yeah, I think that's what he ended up saying on an Instagram post, because with all the shots that they showed with the bike coming at the camera, it was really hard to tell, but there was one shot they showed from behind the bike where you could see the way he landed, and the rebound just like kind of came up. And at least me personally, from some whiskey throttle moments I've had on a bike, I could imagine if I wasn't prepared for that, and if your hand just slips the tiniest little bit and you're in that rebound moment, it's just happening. I think that's what he admitted to saying, was he just kind of landed in a hole, his hand slipped, and off he went.
Press the lean back button a little bit too much on the Mad Skills.
Yeah, he wasn't tapping it; he was holding it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but he seems to be doing good. They took him to the hospital. He's not seriously injured. So he should be Captain America should be coming back, rocking it in the next 4 rounds to see what happens. I was really excited to seeing him because Doug and I were joking last week that maybe they'd find something magical again like they did before Daytona during the break, and he'd come back and killed it. And when I saw him coming around this corner in second place after having, he was. I can't remember if he was first in either of the qualifying, but he was at least second overall qualifying for the day. I had a really good feeling. I said maybe this is it. Maybe he's gonna come out and just smoke him this weekend. He was close. It could have been a crazy one.
Doug's gonna will it to happen. He's a wicked Ron fangirl.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He could will it into existence for sure. For sure. But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot in that moto. Like I said, you had the top 10 with all the guys up there, the normal guys. Marvin Cooper Webb actually did kind of, not to like make it sound like I'm giving them shitting on them, but they actually did pretty good. Both of them. This one with Marv finishing fourth and Webb finishing in fifth. Granted, AP wasn't there. Barsha's out this weekend, but you got to be there to finish the race, and they were there and at least maybe earned some valuable confidence or testing on a shitty ass track for the bikes to see, what's it take to run that pace. Because it's not like they were running slow and just happened to get fourth and fifth. They were running the pace too. So that was kind of good. Savachi had a really great building moto there. To see Anstey, Bogle, and Hartranft and Savachi all in the top 10 had to feel pretty good. Feel pretty good for them. And Chase Sexton, have you watched a video of his washout over the whole shot line?
No, I didn't see it.
Just swap through him. It's like it was like a game to see how far it could toss him over the whole shot line, and he landed just on the backside of it, and it was pretty funny.
Oh, geez.
But he went from being dead last at the whole shot line to 11th place, so he rode hard.
Is that on Instagram? Is that on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on Instagram somewhere.
Okay.
By now, check it out. If I find Instagram link, I'll throw it up in the Discord later. He just came around a couple swaps and just tossed him over the line. But there wasn't a whole lot else to speak of, crazy in that moto.
The 450s just in general this week were just kind of, they were meh, with the exception of AP just flying off the bike. It was a pretty meh weekend.
Yeah, I took way more notes about the 250 races than I did. I think one 250 moto is about the equivalent of both 450 motos.
As far as excitement goes, yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah, and the one thing I did note, though, with Sexton having a bad race, AP being out, and Barsha being out, it basically solidified who's going to be top 3 in the championship points. Because right now, the championship sits at Dylan Ferrandis, 345, Ken Roxon in second place, 306, Eli Tomac in third place with 283, which, based on how the first few rounds went, I don't think any of us thought Eli was going to be in third place in the championship points. He finished his first 5 finishes of the season were a 9th, 8th, 11th, 10th, and a 6th.
Holy crap. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he kicked it up.
Yeah, based off of the beginning of the season, I would have expected AP to be above him at this point. I would have expected Barsha to be above him at this point. Sexton to be above him at this point. Like there's a good handful of riders that I was expecting were going to finish better than him.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up pulling it out. Well, so far anyways.
Yeah, he's bringing it back, but with 39 points over Ken Roxon, Dylan would have to miss two entire rounds, so maybe, reasonably, I think that you could say it's easy to think one weekend something entirely could go back. Maybe you could have an AP one weekend and not finish one moto,
right?
Not be able to come back for the second one. But yeah, it kind of solidifies who's going to be the top three there to see. Because even Chase Sexton's back, and he's 13 points back on Tomac. And with their performances, I don't see Sexton consistently finishing better than Tomac in enough rounds to make up 13 points on Tomac.
Not the way Tomac's riding right now. No, absolutely not.
Well, before this weekend, at least. He didn't do too hot this weekend.
I mean, he could have another fall off. We don't know. We don't know what really happened to him at the beginning of the year either.
Yeah, he could. Yeah. I mean, third in Moto 1's not bad, but the seventh in Moto 2, I don't know. But this was just one of those tracks, they were all the results were coming differently on different tracks where they were getting, it's just a different track, tracks that they ride more often, tracks that don't come out with the ruts, don't have massive walls and things like that in them. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what could happen to him. Maybe he just kicks it back up, and maybe he had bad Chick-fil-A than that before. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, Moto 2, nothing crazy there happened either. Sexton did surprisingly say, I got it figured out again. I'm going to grab a whole shot like he did. Was it Washougal where he finally was grabbing the whole shots and it's like, hey, we finally figured out my start, and they gave him that custom map for off the starts so he doesn't over-rev the bike. So clearly that's working out for him.
Yeah, because that was right before the break.
Yeah. So that's working out for him because he grabbed the whole shot again, but he just didn't have it for Kenny, who got around him. Dylan France didn't have the best start, but he made the best of it, got around Webb and Marv to, finish where he did in third place. I think. And, and to bring up Moto Highlights point, Cody Schock, I made a note, he was running 8th place a few minutes for a good bit into halfway through the halfway mark in Moto 2. He was running 8th place, which is pretty exciting for him because he finished 12th, 10th for a 10th overall this weekend. And that team's just been killing it. He's been killing it for that team on that bike, which is kind of great to see them putting a 450 effort together for outdoors and him being able to hold it up, put it together, especially coming back to kind of redeem themselves after breaking a chain and twice. I think they had bike issues. Southwick, I know, was one of them, and I think the weekend before they had an issue. For him to come back out and do it was great. Hartranft did great this weekend. He didn't finish. He had an incident in the second moto, so he didn't finish too hot. So he finished 37th in the second moto. So yeah, but he's been rocking and rolling. Been proud of him. Anstey's been killing it after he had some issues a few rounds ago where he wasn't putting in some killer results. But he figured that back out and he's back. Yeah. It was Southwick, 37th, 12th. Yeah, he had that issue with his bike. I think he was even having issues during like qualifying and stuff that day too. That just was not his day. Then he's come back out and he's actually done better after that. Starting at Spring Creek, he went 9-11, 9-12, 8-9, which were better than his finishes the entire series so far. So he's just getting better.
Yeah.
Which is good for him.
Craig had a good weekend.
7-6. Yeah. Dean Wilson still out there just killing it. The lone Ross Star Husky guy still powering through being injured and sick and all alone. So that's pretty good. I mean, Zacho's been at the truck helping out in the weekend, so I'm sure it's kind of nice having him around. He's been there for the 250 guys too. But and I will say this week I did hear to Moto's point in the chat, because I think what was that? I don't remember where I was talking about it with. I haven't heard specifically. Osborne hasn't announced it, but there seems to be way more rumors about Osborne retiring. I'm not ready for that yet. I don't want to go see him, win a championship last year in the outdoor season and then have the incidents that he had and just not be able to come back and even try to kind of defend it, even though he technically wasn't there this weekend. But we'll see. I mean, it looks like he's putting in the work to figure out what's wrong with his back. kind of put it in, and so hopefully he comes back for Supercross. We'll get to see him do some stuff because when he was riding well in Supercross, he was doing pretty good this year. But I guess his back stuff was killing him a little bit more than we wanted to see.
He's up there in age. You know, he definitely took the scenic route to get to where he is in the 450s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been around. He has been around.
Yep.
Let's see. But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot else in 450s going on there, so just kind of have to see how that plays out next weekend and go from there. But I will say, go ahead and jump over and say, I did the math. Our old Sunstar drive of the race. Sexton kind of got it by default because he went from 40th to 11th in one moto.
Right.
Which was actually 29 points. But because he started first and fell back in the second moto, he only gets a total of 28.
Gotcha. You took that away from me.
Yeah, I took it away. And then Dylan Swartz, like we pointed out, 45 total positions over both motos.
That's pretty intense.
He passed the field at least once.
And that is intense.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty. The Suzuki guys are killing it, man. Just because they got to kickstart their bikes doesn't mean they're not fast.
They're getting the button the next year, aren't they?
I hope so. Doug might have a new color in his garage if they do.
I'm pretty sure they got the button for 2022.
I have to look. I can't remember, or if they've announced it yet. I don't know.
Hang on one second.
They definitely need it.
They definitely need it. Like that. It's like not having air conditioning in your car at this point.
Yeah, right. I even turn on air conditioning in that convertible. You need it all the time. Yeah, it's that's one of those things where they fall off one time and have an issue restarting the bike, and it just loses them a couple points depending on where they were battling. So, I'd like to see them get that sooner than later.
Yeah,
sooner than later.
I'm going to be totally honest. I'm keeping my eye on Suzuki mostly because of all of those, all of the corporate changes that they made. That kind of stuff really interests me, and I want to see what kind of moves that they're able to make, having the smaller organization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot going on there that could be pretty interesting. I do get intrigued by the moves, they're probably making internally up towards the top and whatnot, around those things. Because Suzuki's one of the big ones where they talk about the head of the organization on whatever that kind of rotational schedule they do has a lot to do with what it is they are or are not pursuing, and like that. But I mean, clearly there's something going on there because they just won a world championship in MotoGP last year, and you don't just win a MotoGP world championship without the organization being behind you. You don't
right.
You just like all of a sudden wake up one day and be like, this little half-ass effort we're putting together just wins a MotoGP world championship. That doesn't work that way.
No, definitely does not.
And they're doing crazy things out there this year. They're not winning right now, but the world championship's doing. World champion, he's doing pretty decent so far in the season. So there's somebody at Suzuki that still loves putting money into racing.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We got faith. Doug's got faith at the very least.
Doug definitely has faith. Let's see if they can, put together a bike that's not 15 years old.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what they're doing. They're just waiting on. They're gonna blow us all away with one last internal combustion motor. And call it a day.
And just call it a day.
Yeah, like we're going out on top, bitches. We'll see.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got. We'll never know whose Doug's sauced it moment was. Mine, I would have to give it to AP. Who would you vote for, Jesse?
Oh, you got to give it to AP.
Yeah, AP sauced the shit out of it, man.
Yeah, like he put the whole bottle of Brap sauce on that one.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He was hiding in his muffler, and that's why he broke it off the way he did, so he could pull out the emergency bottle.
Oh, that's why he did it. Oh,
Yeah.
that was clever of him.
Yeah, very clever. Yeah, that's about it for the race this weekend. And we got Budds Creek up next weekend, followed by Ironman, and then they're back to California for Fox Raceway and Hangtown for the last two. Which of those four, if you had to pick one, are you most excited for?
I'm kind of looking forward to them going back to California, to be totally honest. Probably maybe Iron Man, actually, now that I think of it.
I'm pretty excited about Iron Man. I still cannot get the image of Barsha chasing down AC last year at Ironman, where he was just sideways over that uphill, just on the rev limiter. Because I still remember, I was just excited watching it on TV, and then Doug sent me a message, is like, I heard it from across the track. What happened? Yeah, I still remember that, and it's just I'm hoping to see something magical like that again this year. If anything, that track's pretty cool because you got the rollers leading up to the Godzilla corner. It's always nice seeing Marv and Dylan flex their technique over those rollers on the back wheel, and going through it there. So I'm pretty. I could say Iron Man's probably the one I'm most excited to, and maybe Hangtown after that. I'm not ready for another one at Fox Raceway. That round was this year. I mean, it was nice to see the outdoor start again, but it just wasn't that exciting.
Hangtown can be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a while since we've been to Hangtown.
Yeah,
to see that happen again.
How long has it been? 4 or 5 years?
I got them right here. We were at Hangtown in 2019. We were there.
Oh, really?
It was the first round of 2019. So even then, if it was the first round of 2019, you got 12, 9, and then a full 11. It's like 22 rounds between when we were there last.
Oh, wow.
That's a long time.
Yeah, that's a good amount of time. Have we gotten any updates on Barsha that you've heard of?
He expects to be back maybe next weekend. It was just a light concussion-ish type thing. I think it's going to come down to, I can't remember if I've heard that he's technically passed the concussion protocol and is already cleared to race, or if they're at least thinking that based on how he's been over the past week that he will be fine to race by this weekend.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I think they were expecting Moseman to be back before Barsha though, but we'll see.
It's a quiet track without Barsha on it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when he comes back. Hopefully he comes back for at least more than the last 2 rounds. But I would love to see him back at Ironman. If he doesn't get to go to Ironman, then it'll be a sad weekend.
It'll be a sad day in motocross history.
Yeah. With the hills echoing with the sound of Barsha on the rev limiter.
Yeah.
That's all I got, man. You got anything?
I don't think so, man. I was excited to get to watch some races this weekend. You take even a week off sometimes in the middle of motocross season, it feels like months in between races. So it's like watching races, man. Like watching races.
I am excited for the California rounds because I get half of my Saturdays back. It's hard to do the whole I'm going to watch all of it thing, and then it on the East Coast, and then for like these East Coast rounds, because you start at 10 and then you're sitting there till 5 the whole time. So during your Saturday, and then by the time you're done watching, you're like, okay, well, what am I doing tonight? And I guess I'll just kind of
hang out.
Just hang out, not really do anything. So it doesn't feel much like a Saturday. Granted, the races are exciting and they're fun.
Yeah.
I love hanging out and watching them, but being able to do something on a Saturday and watch the races in the evening or later in the afternoon is a bigger bonus. So I'm excited for those coming back. And then I'll probably be the first one to bitch about it for the California rounds of Supercross when we have to stay up till 1 a.m. So,
yeah, well, it's a totally different setup in Supercross, and they start them on the East Coast. They start at 7, and then they start at 10 on the West Coast. Totally different ball game.
Yeah. Hashtag normalize moto schedules for the people on the East Coast.
Hashtag merge them.
Yes. Yeah, right. Yeah, man, that's about all I got. If you don't have anything, appreciate you jumping in and hanging out with me.
No worries, dude. I just got home and I saw that you were on there. I turned it on, heard you talking. I didn't realize that you were going to be on alone today, so I was like, you know what? I got some time. Let's do this.
Yeah, man. Doug broke my fear of the buttons on the back end last week.
Nice.
And so once I figured out that it was way simpler than I thought it was, because I still think Doug's a secret super tech guy, and he just says he doesn't know how to use technology.
Yeah, he's one of those sneaky people.
Yeah, and so I assumed that it was probably a bit more complicated, and I never knew how to jump in there. And then he put me trial by fire last weekend, and I was like, okay, well I can figure it out now. Now I just
Doug's probably secretly the lead engineer on Restream. We just don't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's his secret job on the side.
We're just on the side. Yeah, he's like, he probably created the like button on Facebook. He's one of those dudes.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being the case. I could see that. Yeah. Well, if you don't have anything else, man, I think we'll just we'll call it for the evening and let everybody get back to their normal lives. And do you have something scheduled for Thursday?
I don't have anything scheduled yet, though. I don't have anything shirred up. I am in talks with somebody. Hopefully I can pull it off for this Thursday. If not, it'll be for next Thursday, but I will let everybody know as soon as I get something shirred up.
Sweet. I had some ideas over the weekend about some interview people that I might try to hit up on your behalf.
Okay. Yeah, same. Doug's been doing a good job of just kind of, when he runs into people, he's like, hey, do you want to come on? And then he messages me. And then like Eddie last week, Eddie came together. That was a great conversation.
That was killer. I was laughing so hard, man. I was doing something during the first part of it because I just got back from my run in time to start the show. So I was doing something. I had my phone set up and I was listening to the show. And then when you asked him my question, I busted out laughing with just like the deepest laugh, and it just in my all by myself in my house, just laughing out loud, just because that was so funny. I was not prepared for that.
His answer was epic.
Yeah,
they get in the way sometimes.
Yeah, dead in the gas tank. Oh, that was so good, so good. Like I've heard similar lines like that before, but I was not expecting him to answer it that way because you started right off the bat with it and he just dropped it. I lost it. Just started laughing out loud all by myself.
He's a funny dude. He is definitely a funny dude. I'd be glad to have him on again.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah. Well, he said he was going to try to race. He will be racing at Buzz Creek. That was his plan, right?
Yep.
So we'll have to watch out for him next weekend. Watch out for our guy. See how he's going to do.
We will definitely keep everybody posted on that faux show.
All right. Well, if you don't have anything else, we'll run down the goodbye sponsor list one more time real fast. We got old Bro Taco hot sauce. Head on over to brotacofoods.com. Use that code PTTG for 20% off. Have you tried the Radberry yet?
I actually had the privilege of getting some of the Radberry last year. I haven't gotten any this year, but Radberry is delicious.
It was unexpectedly good. Like I had an idea, especially after Doug was talking about it. I think last week he was rubbing it in my face, and I finally went to go pick it up yesterday after it got. I think I put in the wrong shipping address. I went to go pick it up from my house. Tried it last night on some. I don't normally put stuff on my steak, but I had a steak and I had some Radberry, and I put it on there. And it was really good. And then I had it on my eggs this morning. And that was really good. And then I had it on my noodles this afternoon. And it was really good.
Do yourself a favor. Try it on some vanilla ice cream.
Oh. Holy cow.
Yeah.
About 5 bottles, so that's going to happen. I've got I've got enough for that. I can't wait to try it. Can't wait to try it. But you should go check.
Very
check
versatile.
Yeah, very versatile, right? Yeah, because it's not. I don't know. I don't want to ruin it. You should definitely go in there. There's some bottles left, I think. Go order some raspberry sauce. Use the code. Get hooked up. Tell Sean we said hi. If you see him in person, give him a hug. Slap him on the ass.
Yeah. Especially the last part.
Yeah. And then we got the Sunstar Sprockets and Chains. Head on over to sunstar-breaking.com. Use the code PTTG30 for checkout. Get 30% off your order. Doug was calm enough to talk those guys into, or cool enough to talk those guys into hooking us up with the code to use over there. Get some of the best drive products for your bike in the business. Doug's not saying it. I'm going to say it because Doug's not here. But I'm pretty sure a lot of those chain brakes that we've seen in outdoors this year weren't Sunstar.
They what?
I don't think they weren't Sunstar.
No,
they were not Sunstar.
I'm almost 100% that none of them were Sunstar.
Yeah. I don't know exactly who they were. I know some of them were, but I'm, like Jesse said, about 100% sure they were not Sunstar. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes. So basically, if you're not using Sunstar, your chain's going to break.
Yeah, there's a proven chance that it will break. Well, you don't have a proven chance that a Sunstar will break. That's all we got.
Yeah, there you go. Can't prove a negative.
Yep, can't do it. You prove me wrong. Yeah, so go over there. You just order some sweet sprockets. You can order your own sprocket. Send Doug an email, tell you how to get one hooked up all chrome style, like that one he has on his desk. And tell him a dad joke while you're at it, and he'll hook you up. And then over on the website, we got power2theground.com. And Jesse, Doug and I think have been maybe spreading some incorrect facts about the lifetime membership for the Jug Club that starts on 9/11. Would you like to set it straight?
Okay, so I actually haven't heard you guys talk about it because most of the time when I tune in, it's after you guys have done the spots. So what have you been saying?
I'm saying Jug Club starts 9/11.
Correct.
Are there still lifetime memberships available for the select few?
There are 14 left.
14 left. So jump on it. I need to jump on it technically too.
That's 14 left, and I can't even remember how much all of the other ones were. But you pay that one time, and that pays for Jug Club forever. Everybody else after September 11th will have here. Let me check these out really quick. Everybody else will have a few options. It'll be the A cup, the B cup, the C cup, the D cup, and the double D cup. And those, yeah, you catching that? Yeah. So those prices are for the A cup, it's $5 a month. B cup, it's $7 a month. C cup, it's $10 a month. D cup is $15 a month, and double D is $25 a month. There's going to be video series on there, special video series. Each one of those come with the jug. I did sort out the jug manufacturer. So we've got the A cup is a 24 ounce, the B cup is a 32, the C cup is a 40, the D cup is a 64, so half gallon, and the double D is a full gallon.
I think this is, I have a huge head.
That looks like 32 to me.
This is a 32.
Yeah.
Imagine twice that, and then
twice
that. Yeah.
So the one that I carry around is a 64 ounce. It's the, well, you probably haven't seen it, but I have a black jug that I carry around, half gallon. And that's what I drink, because I drink 4 of those a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to get
stay hydrated.
Yeah. Stay hydrated. Yeah, I kill multiple of these a day. So yeah, I need to get a bigger one. But anyways, that's a good way to do it though. Join Jug Club.
So the lifetime gets you the double D.
Whoa. Yeah, I need to jump on that.
So yeah, that's the deal on the lifetime. And then I want to do some sort of a launch party for Jug Club as well. It'll probably be live streamed inside of Jug Club, obviously, for all Jug Club members. Not sure what that's going to look like yet. I'll probably talk to you and Doug to see if we can brainstorm something together.
Oh, there will be some brainstorming.
Oh, there will be some brainstorming. Maybe we'll get Sean in on it. Have him wear a helmet.
Oh, yeah. Helmet. At least those sick-ass pit vipers.
Yeah. The pit vipers, the helmet, and some silkies. Gotta get the silkies.
Yeah. Sean and some silkies. That's funny.
Hey, we served together. I saw him in silkies more times than I'd like to admit. Stretching in front of me and everything.
Oh yeah, that's what those are good for. That's what they're good for. I had a neighbor when I lived in Charleston, South Carolina. I lived downtown. Dude was cool as hell. I missed the guy. He served in every day. He was just walking on the street in his silkies, like downtown Charleston, just walking his dog on the street, hanging out on the street. We'd be talking. He's just standing there, nothing but his silkies. And I'm like, this is totally normal. Like, this is totally normal. Everybody,
totally normal.
Just like the carriage horse tours, just driving right by, and he's got this guy just standing out there in his silkies on the sidewalk. It's like over there behind the half naked man, you'll see this very historic house. It's just pretty entertaining.
I've heard some rumors of some Bro Taco silkies coming, perhaps.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
Oh damn!
So we'll have to keep a
serious rumor.
We'll keep our eyeballs on those balls.
I see what you did.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, and then we got to can't forget the people that put everything together for us on Nova Pro Media. You want to do this one, Jesse?
Nova Pro Media keeping me busy, making websites, doing marketing stuff, social media management, digital ads, website design, all kinds of crazy stuff. If you want to see some of our work, you can head on over to novapro.media. That's our website. You can head over to power2theground.com. That's also a Nova Pro Media work. And brotacofoods.com. That's also a Nova Pro Media work now. The rework was done by us. And you can find a
damn good job you did on that website too. That
Thank
day,
you, my friend.
Launch day, was that August 2nd?
August 1st.
First, yeah. When I logged on that morning to order my sauce and I looked at the website, the first thing was I was blown away. It's great. Did a good job with it.
I would like to take full credit for it, but I can't. There was a team effort behind it. So
give the team high fives.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody who helped out with that. Yeah, that was a good one. If you want to see any other examples, like I said, you go over to novapro.media and you can check out all the examples of websites that we've done. But yeah, definitely keeping me busy, keeping me up late at night. So that's Nova Pro Media.
Nova Pro Media. Check them out, people. Check them out. Tell them hello. All right, man. Well, if that's it. I think we'll call tonight, and we'll see everybody next week, or maybe later this week. See what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good talking to you, Tiller. It's been a while.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you jumping on and hanging out. That was a good time. It's a good time. We'll do it again. Sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining, and have a good night.